Sevens head coach Damian McGrath has made two changes to his squad that will be in action at the Los Angeles Sevens, slated for the 27th and 28th of this month at Dignity Park. McGrath has dropped Herman Humwa and Levi Amunga to set the scene for Samuel Oliech and Jeff Oluoch. We now join the head coach virtually just to give us a sense of his performance in terms of since the time he took charge of the national team. It's been about a few months or so. And what was the first thing, head coach, as you just join us this evening, is the first thing that you identified that you felt you needed to work on as far as the national sevens team is concerned, coach?
Well, I was concerned that the skill level maybe was letting us down, but since we've started work, Coach Kimani, our strength and conditioner, has really put some hard work in, and that's made a huge difference to our performances, particularly at the Commonwealth Games. So both the fitness and the skill level has been something that we've focused hard on over these last 6 or 7 weeks.
Right, you've touched on the strength and conditioning, coach, and ideally that was the question I was actually going to ask you. Let's move on to something else. When you joined the technical bench, you say the team had a lot of potential, but unfortunately we seem to be blowing hot and cold. Coach, inconsistency seems to be our Achilles heel. How are you addressing that?
Well, we're working on the fundamentals. It seems such an easy thing to say, but we're working on the very basics, because that was where the team, I felt, watching from afar, was letting itself down. It was capable of brilliance one moment and then some really basic errors the next. We've worked very hard to try and address those. It's only been a couple of months. It'd be nice to sprinkle some magic dust and make an immediate change. But we're building little by little, and we're always looking to improve on the next step.
Coach, when we play some of the top teams, we seem, unfortunately, some would say we seem to have a mental block, especially against teams like South Africa, against New Zealand, Fiji. Is it an issue of skills as well?
I think it's both skills and maybe our approach to the game. Game understanding and game management is a very important thing, and playing these top teams, we need to understand how to play them, how to approach them, and maybe play in a specific way. We're working hard to address all those things. We performed very well against Australia in the Commonwealth Games and should have beaten them to lose narrowly, and they're second in the World Series at the moment. So we are capable of matching the top teams. But it's back to those inconsistencies we mentioned earlier. And it's working on those inconsistencies now that we hope will make the big difference.
Perhaps that might have informed the changes that you made for the team heading to Las Vegas and also as we build up to the Rugby Sevens World Cup?
Of course. One of the things I have to do is look at every player who's available. I inherited a contracted group that are under contract until the World Cup. So there's a limited number, you might say, of players I'm looking to choose from. These players have all put their hand up and worked very hard in training, and I need to look as many of them as I could. I know every tournament's important and we want to go there to win, but I also, for our longer term health, we need to look at every player and see what they're capable of. On the recent national circuit, I've been lucky to see 3 or 4 of the legs across the country, and there's some very talented players there, and at least 4 or 5 have caught mine and the technical bench's eye, and we hope we can integrate them into the senior squad over the next few months.
Coach, before you took charge of the national sevens team, I'm sure you did your research. Kenya has a checkered history when it comes to foreign coaches. Why did you accept to take the role of leading the national sevens team?
Well, I don't know if Kenyans are aware of this, but the Shujaa have an amazing reputation across the world. And yes, I was aware of the politics behind things, in previous times. And Mike Friday, a former coach, is one of my closest friends in rugby. And I know that Mike had his ups and downs, but the opportunity to work in such a rugby mad country with amazingly talented players was too good to miss, and it's a very proud appointment for me.
Finally, Coach, how is your experience in Kenya? Have you sampled the local cuisine? Have you tried speaking Swahili?
Yes, sawa sawa is one of my go-to phrases. Twendi. I'm trying my best to be to try and speak a little bit of Swahili. The food is a bit more of a challenge. I've had a little bout of food poisoning in Kasarani as we prepared for the Commonwealth Games, but now the sun's shining. Life is looking good. I'm enjoying my time, and my wife's enjoying being here, and I hope we can spend a lot more time enjoying everything Kenya has to offer.
Okay, thank you very much. That is the National Sevens head coach, Damian McGrath, just giving us his sentiments as we build up to the Los Angeles Sevens that's going to be kicking off in exactly 7 days. And then that's, of course, build up to the Rugby Sevens World Cup, which will be happening in South Africa, in Cape Town, later next month. Let's